Happy Tuesday, everyone. Game week. Welcome in to the Bama Standard. We're live. We're on the air. Before we get rolling, I need you to do a few things for me. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, live chat. Need to hear from you guys tonight. Need your questions, need all your commentary. If you're watching the replay, get in the comment section below. Let us know how you feel about all the takes we have tonight. We are 2 days away from the Rose Bowl game, round 2 of the college football playoffs. We're going to talk about it. As you see already, the normal folks aren't here. Marvin Constant is sick with food poisoning, so we had to use the upgrade service we have, and we went and got one of the best to ever do it. He's a 3-time SEC champion, 2-time national champion. He is the host of the Miller's Edge. It's been a while, but he's back. Christian Miller, what's going on?
Oh man, I appreciate it. Think of the kind word. I wouldn't call it an upgrade, man. Marvin does a hell of a job, and I enjoy keeping up with him. But seriously, thank you, man. It's been a while, and I know there's plenty to talk about. We'll definitely dive into this Rose Bowl, but thank you guys for having me on here and ready to talk some football, man.
Absolutely. Hey, we got to keep Marvin grounded a little bit. So take little jabs, especially when he's not here and he can't do anything.
Absolutely. There you go. Time to do it, man. Hey, listen, for his age, he looks good. I know he's got that book and everything that he does. So, I mean, hey, good for him, man. I'm not at that point. I'm not 30 yet, but maybe one day I'll be looking into his research. I don't know what he's doing with that book, but seems to be working.
So Christian is at the old folks' home, essentially, in this panel right here. Hey, just above him is one of the best to ever do as far as catching the rock. He made Arkansas's life a living nightmare, Tennessee, and a myriad of other SEC teams. But more importantly, he's family. Welcome back, Matt Caddell.
What's going on? Glad to be back. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. Roll Tide, most importantly.
Yes, roll tide. And back for his second week in a row. He's family already. He's the hottest comedian in the game. Followers are in the millions. And if his skits don't make you laugh, he'll quit comedy right now, but he's not quitting anytime soon. Welcome back, Floss the Mack.
Hey man, it's good to be back, man. I'm here. I'm ready to talk football, man. Today, the week. This the week, man. This right here is the week. This is the week. Roll Tide,
tell you,
man.
Guys, let's go ahead and touch on it while we're hearing all the noise. We were in the green room talking a little bit about it before we jumped on, and we'll get to our topics. They're very good. But according to the national media, Alabama just needs to get a refund for their tickets and head right back to Tuscaloosa and start preparing for 2026. Off the rip, let me get your reaction to that. Start us out, Matt. We'll go to Christian and then Floss.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama is going to draw views regardless. So, Alabama controversial take, but me personally versus Indiana, I'm just enjoying it. You know, I love it when Alabama has to be kind of the underdog. You know, under Saban, Christian, when you were there, y'all were number one all the time, and I felt like the weight of the world was on you guys, but Saban did such a great job of, you know, blocking out the noise, the rat poison. But now, to my point, we're going into the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all, 100-year anniversary of Alabama football, winning their first national championship. I feel like all the pressure more so is on them to really to execute and come out with a victory. So I like the noise. I love how everybody's not giving us a chance. I feel like we play better, especially this year when we kind of have our backs against the road. You know, after the Florida State game, going into Athens, going on the 5-game winning streak, bouncing back in Oklahoma. So I like it, and I think this team plays better like that.
Absolutely. Christian, what are your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I understand, you know, national media, they're going to look at things from a different lens, right? And if you're an Alabama fan, you know, we're obviously going to be a little biased and we're going to look at all the good, right? We're going to pay attention to the 3 quarters that we saw this team play against Oklahoma. But the reality is a lot of people have seen this Alabama football team over the last half of the season not play their best football. You know what I mean? And I think that's what they're paying attention to, which is fair. And I think that's their job to look at it from that perspective. But to me, and I said this on my show earlier, I just feel like this Alabama football team, if they can find a way to build off the momentum of the last 3 quarters against Oklahoma, that's what they're capable of. That's the Alabama football team we saw earlier in the year, mostly speaking from an offensive perspective. Defensively, there's not too much to really critique. I mean, there's always things we can talk about, right? I mean, I break down tape on my show all the time, and I'm by no means saying the defense is perfect, but they've been a lot more consistent than the offense has. It almost was like a 180 from early on in the year. That said, I mean, this is a good Indiana football team. I think you got to give them credit. You mean that you're talking about a team that is very balanced. I mean, everybody's saying the same thing, but it's true when you watch them. They're very fundamentally sound. They're very disciplined. They execute at a really high level. They got a good scheme to scheme things up and really attack you in a number of different ways. And I think, when people look at the matchup between these two teams, I think part of the reason Alabama's not getting that credit right now is, like I said, we're focusing on those 3 quarters that they played well against Oklahoma and hoping that they can create that in the Rose Bowl. But I think the national media looks at it like this is a team in Indiana that has not lost a football game yet. They don't make many mistakes, and they're going to make you earn it. Can Alabama go out there and earn it against Indiana in the Rose Bowl? We'll find that out here in about, less than 48 hours now. But I think the biggest thing is when you look at it, Alabama is capable, without a doubt. When you watch Indiana, they're a beatable football team, even though they haven't lost just yet. However, it's going to take Alabama's A game, in my opinion. Alabama's not going to be able to start the way they started against Oklahoma. I don't think they're going to be able to have some of the mishaps that we've seen the last half of the season, especially offensively, if they want to win this football game. But I'm with Matt. I think when you're Alabama and you have that underdog mentality, when your back is against the wall, I feel like we end up playing better in these situations. And I feel like, we're at a point, man, we've somewhat exceeded the expectations, not only nationally at this point, but even in our own fan base, in my opinion. After going on the road and beating Oklahoma, a lot of people had already written us off after the Georgia game. What do you have to lose? Everything's right there in front of you, man. Hell, if you lose to the number 1 seed in the college football playoff. It's year 2 under Kalen DeBoer, new coach, Coach Saban just left. I don't think too many people can be too mad at that. So if anything, you don't really have anything to lose, in my opinion, if you're Alabama. Go out there, go play to your standard. You got a whole lot of guys a lot more healthy in this game. And I think if you go play your best ball, you without a doubt can beat this Indiana football team. It might not be easy, but it most definitely is possible.
Floss, that leaves you. Kristen brought up a good point. We kind of got enamored with the last 3 quarters versus Oklahoma. And, I mean, it's hard not to, right? We played the best ball we've played in arguably 2 or 3 months, right? So the back half of the season is what a lot of the national media has to go off of. So with that being said, do you feel like the criticism is fair, or do you feel like they're just pressing too hard? And do you feel like this is more of an advantage for Alabama with all the doubt?
Am I lagging? Is my voice coming correctly in? Okay, because like I said, okay, but I just feel like, man, it's so easy to hate Alabama. I hate to use that word, but it's so easy to just find anything, any flaw that Alabama has to pinpoint and say, hey, we're not good at this, or hey, we're not good at that. And I think a lot of people are just running with it. And because of the name Alabama, is just a household name. So I just feel like a lot of people is just using that to, make themselves sound like it's going to be a blowout or anything like that. But if you really know Alabama football, you know good and well it's not going to be a blowout. Indiana is a very good team. Like Christian said, I'm not taking anything from them. It's awesome. They're number 1 for a reason. They beat Ohio State for a reason. So let's not make it seem like that they're a sorry team as well. But when you come into a game against a healthy Alabama team, coming off a very exciting adrenaline type of game against Oklahoma, when you come back from 17 down, it's hard to beat a team like that. And then you get 2 weeks off, you're rested. Like I said, you get most of your core teammates back. It's going to be hard. Now, I'm like I said, this is a very good Alabama team. Like Christian said, Indiana is a well-coached team, so we cannot take anything from them. But don't sleep on Alabama just because we can't run the ball, or we lost against Florida State. We didn't look very well in the last 4 or 5 games of the season. Don't let that fool you. Because the stretch we had against those ranked teams, we looked very good. So if we get that team back, look out, man.
Absolutely. And I think we are getting that team back because one thing that's kind of being overlooked is the fact that we're the healthiest we've ever been. Against Georgia, we went in, I think, 8 down, and by the time the game was over, we were down 13 players. That takes an incredible toll on a team. I don't care how good you are. But now these guys are back, with the exception of a couple, but the main players, they're here. They're what make the wheel go. We got one more opinion to get, and this is a guy that has not been on our show for quite some time, but when he's on, he's powerful. They call him the pastor of pain. He is a New York Giants legend. He is a South Carolina legend. He's also part of the Miller's Edge. Welcome back, Corey Miller. What's going on, Pastor Corey?
Greetings and salutations, fellas. Hope you're doing well here on, I guess it's pre-eve of New Year's. So doing good. Just sitting here watching a little football, some SEC basketball. The Gamecocks is playing tonight. So I'm down in Columbia tonight. I'm moved up to Greenville now, pastoring the church. That's where I'm at most of the time, but I come here a couple of days a week to my nice establishment to do something a lot of the Pharisee Christians may not like. I do like to smoke cigars, so that's what I'm doing.
I thought you were sticking the middle finger up at first. I'm like, whoa, brother, you got the big old fingers. They look like a cigar. I'm like, damn, what we do to you, bro? Relax.
That's my dead finger that I can't bend.
Yeah, it runs in the family, I guess, from all these years. I mean, I got the dead pinky.
So I can't bend this finger, so I do it like that. But I try to left-handed. How about that?
There you go.
But Corey, pick up, man. We got a lot of negativity coming our way from the media. We've kind of given our reasons as to why they may be spewing some of this. Do you feel it's justified, or do you feel like they're pressing too hard? What's your reaction ultimately to the criticism of Alabama versus Indiana?
Well, I think if you look at tape and watch the game, you're going to say that Indiana's an excellent football team, period. They are. But from the national perspective, from what we look at with us, Indiana, they're known for Bobby Knight and basketball and kicking chairs but not football. So when you look at Alabama, Indiana, just from heart knowledge, if you will, you go, we should show up and just win this game. But you watch the tape, it's a very well-rounded, well-balanced football team that can run it, they can throw it, they play very good defense. On top of that, now, do they have 5-star studded players throughout their roster? No, but they play good team football. Now, that being said, I don't think they are battle tested. I mean, yeah, they beat Ohio State, they beat Oregon on the road, great wins. But I think they're going to go with the narrative. They're undefeated. They got a Heisman Trophy winner. On paper, yeah, they probably should beat Alabama, and Alabama didn't really help themselves weeks prior, based on how they kind of finished the season, limped down to Atlanta, got embarrassed by Georgia on national television, but then they came back and in a very poor first half against Oklahoma, but came back and showed resiliency and won that football game. And people still don't want to give them credit because that was a fantastic win. That was a very tough atmosphere. They found a way to win the football game. So, I think Alabama, use this noise, if you will, rat poison, as Nick Saban would say, as something to inspire them because they're not getting the credit. They're not getting respect. People are going to say, Alabama's not the same. This is not the 15, 16, 17, those teams. That's not the same football team that we're seeing, and they're not. But at the same time, if in fact they can find a way to play their best, if I say both teams play A games, I think Alabama will win that football game. I think they can be better than Indiana, but they can't go out there and show up like they did the first half against Oklahoma, because I think with the offense that Indiana has, they can expose Alabama, especially if they're not rushing the passer, which could be a problem for them at times, I should say. But I ain't buying it. I think it's going to be a very close football game. I think it's going to be a fourth quarter game. And I think Alabama, just being in the SEC, playing in tough environments, understanding what that's all about, they can find a way to win this football game. I think it's going to be a great game, but I'm going to pick Alabama definitely to win this game.
Great way to start things off. I love that. Well, let's move to our next segment. It's about making Indiana's offense uncomfortable. We've been saying every day, regardless of what podcast you listen to, they're well coached, they're well disciplined, they don't make mistakes. So it's about making the perfect imperfect. And I like to get started out with Matt because you played for Cignetti last year at Alabama. If you would, take me into the mind of Coach Cignetti and what you experienced with him, and then just kind of taking that experience, parlaying it over to finding a way to knock him off course. How does Alabama do that?
Well, anytime you go against a Coach Saban assistant coach led team, it's going to be difficult because, Coach Saban is detail oriented. If he can find a weak link in your team, he's going to try to do his best to expose it. So with that being said, Coach Cignetti is more of a regimented, like Saban from the time I had it, just very laser focused on what we need to do, get our job done, make sure we do our job. But looking at how we can make their offense uncomfortable, I think, it starts with stopping the run. I think that's going to have to be key to kind of put more pressure on, Mendoza. He's 6'5", can air it out, can do wonders with their offense. I think we got to be able to stop the run consistently. We're just going to have to be physical because Indiana's a very, very physical team. It's kind of some bragging rights, SEC versus Big Ten. We're going to have to show them, listen, this is how the boys down south play, and we're going to need to be physical and stop the run. I think if we could do that, maybe mix some coverages. Hopefully Womack has got in his bag, mixing up coverages, having different pressures. I think us being healthy plays a lot. But if we can, I think it all starts up front. We got to be physical and stop the run. I think if we can do that, then that can lead to some success versus their offense, make them uncomfortable.
Well said. So, Christian, I'm going to go to you now. The ultimate question at hand is making the perfect imperfect. How does Alabama get them out of character? But on the other side of that, since they haven't really faced a lot of being out of character, how does Indiana respond when things go wrong? Can they respond? What's your take on making them uncomfortable?
Yeah, well, to your second part real quick, can they respond? I think they have displayed the ability to do that. If you go back to the Penn State game, coming from behind, right, that drive that Mendoza led down there, really nice throw and catch down the end zone. I mean, while they're not battle tested from a consistency standpoint like we've been, with our schedule, they have had, some opportunities. There might not be as many, but they've shown it at times that they can come up in critical moments. So there's at least that to work off of. But I will say in terms of how to make them uncomfortable, I got to agree with everything Matt said. It starts with stopping the run. They want to run the football. They have a, RPO type system. They run a lot of inside zone, a lot of split zone action. And they just execute it really well. They're guys up front. They're physical. They block well. They climb to the second level well. They finish their blocks, and they give their guys a chance to make those plays down the field, right? And I think that's one of the biggest things that we've struggled with in terms of our offensive line, not finishing plays. If you go back and watch the tape, it'll show you there's always like one guy that, he doesn't climb up to the level, right? He doesn't get to that second level block. He doesn't hold on to his block just long enough. These guys do a good job with that, and that's why they're averaging 221 yards on the ground. So I think if you can stop that rushing attack of Indiana, you force them into some third and long situations. You're giving yourself a chance. Third down, they're one of the best teams in the country on both sides of the ball, I believe. They do a really good job of that. Mendoza, he's not a burner by any means, but he can extend plays with his legs. He has the ability to make things happen when he needs to. But ultimately, man, he just makes a lot of good decisions, and he makes all the throws. He's extremely accurate. He plays on time. If you look at the timing, we were watching the tape earlier today on my show. He's got good rhythm with his throws. Throws a really catchable football for his receivers. So you got to find ways to force these issues with them, and I think you do that by, number one, stopping the run, force them to be in some third and long situations, and then you got to get pressure. To me, I think the keys really boiled it for defense. It really is simple, and it sounds cliche because they're basic keys, but it's really what it is. Stop the run, force third and long, and then generate pressure. You got to make him uncomfortable. A quarterback like this, if you sit back in zone, he's probably going to pick you apart. I think you probably want to go into it playing some man coverage. That might help you out with the RPO game a little bit. But you ultimately just have to force him off his spot and make him uncomfortable, force some bad throws. If you go back and watch, Ohio State was able to get some pressure on him. I think we definitely can. Our pass rush wasn't really ideal early on in the season, but it's come on long since then. Yanze Pierre stepped up. Quay Rousseau's returned. LT Overton will be back in action. Even seeing guys like Keon Keeley getting some burn, and he's been making some plays, right? Now, he might have a boatload of mental errors, what we call MEs at times, because he's still getting his feet wet. But, hey, he finds a way to make some plays when it's needed. So I think if you can generate pressure on Mendoza after stopping the run, I think that could cause a lot of issues and some uncomfortability for that offense. But, again, you've got to earn it. And that starts, like Matt said, being physical up front, stopping those guys, tackling well, playing with good fundamentals. I feel like sometimes our tackling, if I had to critique one thing with our defense, maybe our tackling at times can be a little inconsistent. In this game, that's got to be better. They've got a stable of about 3 backs that they use, and they do a nice job. Matter of fact, my high school football teammate and one of my best friends is their running backs coach. He does a damn good job with those guys. He played at James Madison. So, yeah, I think that's really what it boils down to. It sounds basic. It sounds like the same stuff you hear every week. Stop the run, rush the quarterback. But it's probably one of the biggest deals in this game because of how balanced they are and how they like to start with the running game and then find ways to throw the football. So you just got to be smart. Then when it comes to the RPO game, it's tough on any linebacker. Your keys are telling you it's a run, but they can pull the ball and throw it behind you, whether it's slants or the quick hitches, whatever the case may be. So you just got to read your keys the best that you can and then respond and react and make sure you tackle well when you get an opportunity.
Absolutely, Corey. He brought up a lot of great points. Mendoza, we got to pressure him. We got to figure out how to do it with 4 defensive linemen. He likes to take advantage of the one-on-one matchups, and he's got some dudes who can stretch the field with Elijah Surratt, Omar Cooper Jr., and even Charlie Becker. But, again, they're so well-balanced. They can run the ball. Roman Hemby and Kalen Black, they can pound it. They're averaging 210 yards per game. So which of the 2 evils do we need to put our focus on defensively to get them out of character?
Very, very good on first down. I mean, you got to get them behind this chain, so to speak. You got to make things uncomfortable for Mendoza in this offense, because if you allow them to get chunk yards on first down, making it, run or pass situation on second and third downs, now you get out of balance, if you will. I think we're good against the run. I think we're pretty solid there. But the way I look at Kay Womack in this defense, he wants to play a lot of zone. He likes to play 2 high safeties. They believe in keeping things in front of them, making tackles. They even let you move the ball, but be good in the red zone. So I don't know if that's going to be his game plan. I didn't like that. My mindset, I'm old school, with the Giants, Bill Belichick, those types of defenses. We're aggressive. We're gonna control the narrative, if you will. We're gonna bring pressure. We're gonna impose our will on this offense, and that's what I think this Alabama defense needs to do. You're gonna have to even have some run stunts. Move those defensive linemen around, allow them to play on the other side of the offensive line, get some negative yards, get them behind the chain, make them more obvious. Now, when they're more obvious in this all passing situations, your pass rusher has an opportunity to be that much better. And so I think being good on first down is going to be key. And then on third downs, being able to get off the field, get the ball back to this offense, because I think this offense, giving Ty Simpson more opportunities, will make some plays. They pretty much are explosive as well. Now, they can't run the ball. I don't know why. I don't know what's the situation. Jam Miller maybe back healthy. This running game can maybe get some kind of semblance of what Alabama used to be. But they're going to have to run the ball to help the defense, to keep them off the field so they can rest. If they got 3 and outs and they stand on the football field, bad things are going to happen for this defense. So First down for the defense is going to be imperative, in my opinion, playing good there. And then in those third and long, getting that pressure. And I think they got to bring pressure. And I'm like Christian, the pass rush is better, but it's not something that you look at and get. I'm calling home to mom about these front four. They got some dudes up here that can go get it. They got fast twitch guys on the outside that can bend and get it and put pressure. I don't see that. I really don't. I see a very methodical approach to it. When they get pressure, they're cat blitzing, they're double A with their linebackers, they cross bucks, they're doing different things like that. If that's what you got to do, get the ball out of his hands. Four-man rushes is not bringing enough pressure for me. Make him get that ball out of his hands, rally up, make the tackle, get off the football field. So it's going to be very interesting to see that this cat-mouse game offensive for the Indiana Hoosiers versus the defense of Alabama. I'm very interested to see how they're going to try to play this chess game because, if he sits back two high safeties and zone, I think we're going to be in a lot of trouble. But if we can bring pressure, if we can hit him, we don't always have to sack him. We need to hit him, make him hurry some throws, make him short arm some throws, make him uncomfortable. If you make him uncomfortable, like they did the second half with Oklahoma, good things happen for the defense. So I hope that will be the approach for Kane Womack in this defense.
I love that. Floss, we're going to piggyback off of that a little bit. And I got to bring this up. It's been a major criticism of Mendoza here as of late. Some may see this as low-hanging fruit, but if it's talked about enough, it's worth talking about it again. Majority of his touchdowns came against weak opponents. I believe 27 of those. Against tougher competition, he only has 6 touchdowns. He didn't look so Heisman-esque when the competition got a little stiffer. Are we reading too much into that, or is this something that Alabama can exploit?
I think that's something we can exploit. I watched the highlights between I think that was Penn State, and I watched between Ohio State. And when he was under pressure, they forced him into some bad throws. Sometimes it ended up in maybe an incomplete pass, or I think one of them was an interception. I just feel like when you rush him, when you force him to think, he ends up making some bad throws. You're not gonna completely stop him. That's don't go in there thinking we finna intercept him 3 times, maybe 4 times. But if we make enough stops against him, I feel like we're able to take over the game. At least one interception could turn the game over, just like against Oklahoma. On the second half of Oklahoma, we were able to force Mateer into some bad throws. We were able to get like 2 or 3 sacks. I think we finished the game with 5 or 6 sacks. Most of those came within the second half. If we can force them into some bad throws, I'm not really concerned about them running a lot. I feel like the second half, towards the end of the second half, second half of the season, we were able to slow down the running game on some teams. So like Kane Womack said, I mean, bend but don't break. And I feel like that's a mentality we need to have in this game, because Mendoza, he's a hell of a quarterback. But I feel like if we are able to rattle him, make him think, like Corey said, hit him. Even when he don't have the ball, make him feel you some type of way. Make him think as much as you can, because if we let him sit back there and just throw the ball, he'll pick us apart.
Well said. Hey, I want to remind everyone who is watching over there on Twitter X, come on over to our YouTube channel, the Bama Standard Network, and subscribe to our channel. We need more folks, and we enjoy making you a part of our family. All right, let's switch on over to another side. Can Alabama's offense expose Indiana's defense? We've already said it. How does Alabama recreate what we saw for 3 quarters versus Oklahoma? A lot of focus being placed on Alabama's inability to run the ball, but they may have an advantage over Indiana in that seemingly perfect defense. Indiana can give up explosive plays. Forcing Indiana to be stretched can be a problem for them. Go routes, deep digs, seam routes, all that. Can burn them. Spacing is their kryptonite. So I got to ask you guys, what is the key to exposing this defense? Did we try to assemble a running game, or do we try to expose that defense and their weaknesses? But more importantly, if we're going to try to stretch it deep, do we have time? Does the offensive line have the ability to keep Ty in that pocket upright off the ground? Listen, it's going to be a hard task, and a lot of people have figured it out. Indiana's #1 in pressure rating, and they're tied for 6th in the nation with 39 sacks. Matt, start us out. What do we do? What is Alabama's route to success versus exposing this defense?
Listen, I think Grubb kind of showed it. I think if he goes tempo, quick tempo, get those guys tired, stop trying to check the ball, get in the perfect place, snapping the ball with under 5 seconds. That's not going to work. If he goes tempo, run the play, give Ty quick runs, quick plays. We go to a zone blocking scheme instead of more of the trying to run the Washington pull and plug scheme. But we go tempo. We kind of go a little sugar huddle, mix up some, different eye candy as far as snapping the ball, just really up-tempo offense, like get that defense gas and put points up, then that really affects, what they want to do offensively. But I think Grubb kind of did that versus Oklahoma. We were doing a lot of sugar huddles, breaking the huddle, running the play, getting set real quick. And that forced Oklahoma, who's Venables, Bates, all those guys, they love to blitz, see what you're going to do, play the chess match. Don't allow them to get in their chess match. Just go out there and run a play, get those guys tired, keep them guessing. Like I said, we're going to run it, go to a zone running scheme, anything quick to kind of get them into a zone, because once we put Oklahoma in a zone, Lacia Brooks, it was like 7-on-7 for Ty Simpson last week. So I think if more so we can go tempo versus these guys, I think we can really take advantage of their defense.
Chris, I want to hear from you. We've talked about that defense, and as good as it is, probably the lowest ranked portion of that defense are their safeties. And like I said, our receivers can expose that. But is Ty going to have enough time? Is that something that we really need to focus more on? Or is there some way we can get this running game to be effective?
Yeah, look, it's a great point. But I'm one of the people at this point, Justin. Listen, we're 14 games in, however many games in at this point. I just don't think the running game is just magically going to fix itself, especially against a defense to this caliber, right? A defense that's really good up front. They do a really nice job stopping the run. That said, could we have success on the ground? Sure, I'm sure we probably could. We were able to do that against Oklahoma at least the first time. Second time around, it was maybe 6 yards on the ground. First time, we actually ran the ball well against a defense like that. But the way I look at it is, Justin, you just got to lean into what we do best. And we've been able to win football games without having this perfect running game. So I don't think now is I definitely think you commit to it because you don't want to be one-dimensional. But I don't think you need to overcommit trying to just establish that just to please people. The bread and butter of this offense is when we're able to make plays down the football field, throwing the football. That's what they do best. We've got a stable of wide receivers that can do that. I do think, like I said, you try to establish that running game, but at the end of the day, when this offense is at its best, at least what it's been this season, we're able to connect down the field. Ty is able to have time and make his, connections with Jeremy Bernard, Lacia Brooks stepping up against Oklahoma, Isaiah Horton. I didn't forget about Ryan Williams. I just feel like either he's going to come alive in this game or he's due at some point because he's got the talent. But I still am a firm believer, man. You just got to put the ball in your playmakers' hands, right? Whether that's getting it to them in the screen game, some rub routes, just trying to get it to them quick and letting them make something happen after the catch. He's still there to do that. And I think that's what you lean into. Grubb has done a good job scheming things up, whether it's putting Bernard in the backfield, extensions of the running game. Personally, I think that's your best bet in a matchup like this. I feel like from what I've seen in the Oregon game and some of these other ones, there's some, plays to be had on the perimeter. We've been doing a number of things that way, where there's pin and pull type run action or even just a screen game. So that said, I think that's probably the key. But I think if Alabama is going to have success in this game, I think it falls on Ty Simpson having a big game. And it's not only on him. I've been one to say this. Now, he's definitely part of, some of the struggles that we've seen. He hadn't been playing his best, but people around him have to help him out. The running backs have to be better. The offensive line has to be more consistent. Believe it or not, they've actually been a pretty solid group. The inconsistency has been there for sure. But if you go back and look at pass pro and protection, outside of inconsistency, they've done a decent job. But they've got to do an even better job in this matchup. Backs have to be good in pass pro. Because when Ty Simpson has time and he can settle down and he's not feeling flustered like he was in the first quarter against Oklahoma, he can make those throws. And then it falls on the receivers. They got to come up with big plays. Jeremy Bernard, mossing the guy, reaching over the back. Latsier Brooks adjusting, turning around. I mean, Matt knows about this. Receivers, they got to help their quarterback out sometimes. It's not always on the quarterback to make these perfect throws. He's not Jesus. He can't be perfect. If you got the talent, you've got to step up, and that's what we saw against Oklahoma. Isaiah Horton had a huge play. Ty dropped in the breadbasket. Latsier had several big plays. Jeremy Bernard. Those are the type of plays that you have to have in playoff football if you want to have success on this offense. It does start up front, so I do believe the way Indiana will come at you, they don't bring a whole bunch of guys, but they bring different looks. The linebackers alone are responsible for, I think, like 17 sacks. So that just tells you they're bringing pressure. It's not like all-out blitzes, but it's coming from a bunch of different areas. Can this offensive line and these backs, can they step up and diagnose those pressures pre-snap and then execute post-snap, give Ty some time, and then can the receiver step up? I think, if they can recreate what they did in the three quarters in that Oklahoma game, I totally can see them having success in this game. It might not be, pretty at times. It might not come from, 100 yards on the ground. But, again, this offense has found ways to win football games and have success while not doing it the traditional way. If you go back all the way to earlier in the season, and I just think at this point that's what you expect out of them, and just hope that that's what they come up with in this game. I personally don't see them rushing for over 100 yards. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I just don't think now is the time to really try to just come up with that. You just lean into what you've been doing well and what has worked, and I think that's the extensions of the running games, coming up with some explosive plays down the field. And I think if you can do that, there's definitely some plays to be had.
Floss, you get to follow him. Tough task, right? We got to recreate the magic we saw versus Oklahoma against arguably one of the best in the nation.
I agree with Christian. I mean, we don't need 100 yards. Give me 60, maybe 70. But lean into what we've been doing. The wide receivers catch the ball, like you said. I mean, at some point you're gonna have to build your quarterback out. He's getting pressure sometimes. Sometimes the linemen, they break loose. They let the rushers come through. So you're gonna have to, you might have to catch a crazy catch. You might have to. It's just part of the game. Everything is not gonna be perfect. So I just feel like he said, we're just gonna have to lean into whatever we do best. The second half of the Oklahoma game. Well, he started off, kind of shaky, Ryan Grubb, but towards the, once he got comfortable, it's like he was dialing it up pretty well. The RPOs, pre-snap, not the pre-snap. As far as like getting
sugar huddle?
What's it called?
The quick huddle, sugar huddle.
Yeah, the quick huddle. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. The quick huddle.
Teamwork.
I feel like it was working, and I feel like we found something with that. Not saying we have to do it all the time, but that's something that we should lean on because I feel like we had success in it. Latsier Brooks was doing his thing. Isaiah Horton was. Jeremy, we just need Ryan Williams to have one of those games where he just one of them Georgia games. One of them like he had last year. One of them games we had with Ryan. I feel like we'll be fine. I think having 26 back is going to be good. We still got Daniel Hill. I think having Kevin Riley, he could probably break out with a 20-yard run or something like that. It's just the fact of everybody doing their job, man. If everybody do their job, I think we'll be fine in this game. I just, I'm praying like everybody else at this point.
All right, Corey, you get a chance to put a cherry on the top of this Sunday.
He gave me a nice toss when he talked about prayer, but prayer changes things. That's what the Bible says.
Amen.
Listen,
Come on with it.
Listen, man. Let me do this right here. Let me spit it to you this way, because when I look at this, I'm going to put my defense coordinator headsets on. So if I'm the coordinator for Indiana and I'm playing Alabama's offense, I'm looking at one thing. They do not handle pressure. They have an excellent quarterback, 3,500 yards, 28, 29 touchdowns. Good quarterback, but when I turn the tape on and I see pressure, I see happy feet. I see eyes getting big. I see a guy that panics. I see anxiety. And he does not play to the standard in which he can play when he feels pressure. That's what they're going to get. They're going to send exotic. They're going to show looks. They're going to show this one side, and they're going to come from the other side. They're going to show things to force Ty Simpson to make mistakes, to have errant passes, try to get a pick six, because he has not handled that well. This offensive line has not handled pressure well, right? So that's what they're going to do. Can they handle that? They're going to have to. Right, they're not going to get a basic defense that's going to line up mano-a-mano and say, we're going to out-physical you and stop you this way. No. We're going to force you into making some mistakes, because you have shown. Go back and watch Georgia. Go back and watch some of these other games, even Oklahoma at times. They don't handle pressure well. So here's what they're going to have to do in terms of feeling that pressure. They're not going to be able to run the ball, because that's just not who they are. But you can throw the ball to replicate a running play, swing passes. How about some middle screens? When they run pressure, how about Hill or Jam Miller, fake block, turn right around, dump it. Another guy that can be really big in this type of game is Cuevas, the tight end. Use that guy. He's that secret weapon always for a quarterback. So they're going to have to be good at calling plays to offset blitzes, to offset run pressures, to offset zone dogs. They're going to have to be good at calling plays to offset that. And I think quick passing game, don't allow Ty Simpson to sit there and pat the ball and his feet gets all bad and he gets sacked. You're going to talk about scooping scores. He has to get the ball out of his hands. They got to be preaching this. Speaking of prayer, we got to be praying that they're preaching this tonight, right? That, hey, bro, get the ball out of your hands. Don't sit there and hold it. Be a quick thinker. Quarterbacks that does well against pressure defenses, they think fast. They're able to make decisions fast, right? Even if it's running the football. Hey, does anybody realize that Ty Simpson is a good athlete? That
I was just going to say that.
Run the football. There was times in the game that he could have taken off and gotten 15 yards without being touched. He's going to have to make those quick decisions and do this, because when he starts to do that, now that's going to make them come out of that. If he hurts them with his legs enough times, third down, move the chain, touchdown here in the red zone, guess what they're going to do? They're going to dial it back. Now they're going to start playing more standard. And when they are forced to play standard, now Alabama can get back to Ryan Grubb and what he likes to do offensively. So if they can do this, I think they'll have a chance to really put up 28, 30 points. And if they can score 30 points in this ballgame, I think that's enough to win this ballgame. So it's going to be, again, cat mouse, man. Football is always chess. What these coordinators thinking? What are they doing? And then once the game starts, they got to be able to say, you know what? Let me get my number 2 pencil out. Let me get my eraser out. Let me get this off this thing right here. And, I know what we practiced for 2 weeks, but because of what they're doing right now, we got to change it. So I got to draw something else on this paper with my number 2 pencil, and we got to make some adjustments, even on the fly. Don't wait to halftime. So you got to do it sometimes right there on the sideline. And if you can do that, I think Alabama have an excellent chance of winning this football game.
Man, Matt, the message that the pastor's preaching got you ready for an altar call. I can see you jumping out your seat.
Yeah,
right
I'm
there.
already ready. The doors of the church are open. I'm ready to give my life.
And a lot of what he said is exactly what you're communicating to us in our group chat every game day. If you're in the coach's booth, man, what about what he said you feel like needs to be carried out onto that field?
Exactly what all the guys says. Floss, Christian, the pastor of pain. I mean, listen, just take it to him. I mean, I feel like if you look at the Georgia games, the games where we weren't as successful offensively is when we were waiting. We're getting in the chess match. We're trying to check into a play. Ty's looking to the sideline, trying to get into the right play. The defense is changing, and we snapping the ball with like 2 seconds left over and over and over and over in game. And I don't think that's building confidence in Ty.
Yeah, it's stressful. It's stressful as heck, man.
Yeah, and it's not a good play call. Ty's stress, the offensive line stress. It's so much going on. But I feel like if we just go out there and run the plays, quick screens, sugar huddles, tempo, whatever, just do it quickly and get their defense, tired and don't give them time to adjust. They're going to come with some type of blitz. Okay, boom, hit the middle screen, tight end, Quavers, whatever. Then you can, as long as you get them on their heels, I feel like that's what we were able to do versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma blitzed us the first time like crazy because we were trying to do that methodical approach. Whereas things started turning around when we started going tempo and taking it to them. Next thing you know it, they ran in zone and Ty was just sitting back there. Boom, boom. Bernard, Hill, Latsier Brooks. I mean, it's easy. So I think we just take it to them quickly, intensely, aggressively. Then I think that pays dividends for us for down the road.
You talk about getting them on their heels. I think one of the best ways to do that, I think the panel can agree, we got to get out to a fast start. Christian, you already mentioned we can't spot them 17 points. This is not the defense to do it. This is not the team to do that. And you can't rely on things just falling in your lap or crazy things happening that just allows you to climb back into the game. No, you need to be the one that dictates the flow of the game. We were doing that in the beginning of the season. But one thing we didn't quite do, except for the Tennessee game, Christian, we talked about this on your show, was we have not yet figured out how to find that put your foot on their throat moment and close it out. So it's about getting fast starts, but then closing the deal out. Is this a game where Alabama puts it all together and figures out how to do both?
If it is, it's going to be tough just because of the quality of defense that they're facing. I mean, again, not only is their offense balanced, their defense is the same way. They stop the run well. I think they're second in the country for tackles for loss. They're very disruptive, but then like you mentioned, number one pressure rate, they get after the quarterback. And then on the back end, I think they've had like 17 interceptions and a total of like 25 takeaways on defense. So it's going to be tough, but, people ask about fast starts. I mean, how do you do that? Well, number one, it's game plan. I mean, Matt can attest to this. Every offensive coordinator, the offense, they have a script, right? So when they come out there, they have a design script that they're going to the first series of the game that they're trying to implement. And I feel like we did well with that early on in the season. I feel like we were getting out to good starts and scoring points early on. The script was good. And the other part of that is execution. Just recently we hadn't necessarily had that. So it's both. It's both sides. Ryan Grubb and staff, they've got to come up with a good game plan to come out there and attack. Listen, both these teams have had weeks to prepare, right? They've been at practice. They've studied all the tape that you can imagine. You got to come out there, like my dad says, it's number 2 pencil. You got to draw it up, and then the guys got to go out there and execute. That's how you get out to a fast start. There's not really any other secret to it. In terms of finishing, you know what I mean? It's very similar. Halftime adjustments, I feel like, we hadn't come out of halftime great. We'll start, first half well, then we'll come out at halftime and then sack, fumble, or, 3 and out, bad series. You got to find a way to minimize that. And I understand the other team is also going into halftime making defensive adjustments, but you just got to find a way. To me, I think it's all about a mentality. And I think it boils down to who wants it more, right? Who's better prepared? If I'm being completely honest with you, there's a couple games where I felt like we probably weren't the most prepared that we probably could have been or should have been. SEC championship game being one of those. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I know we had a lot of injuries and that played a role, but I would be lying if I said it looked like our offense was prepared for that game. I don't think the coaching staff had them the most prepared for that football game. That can't be the case in this game. And there should be an excuse because we've had weeks to prepare for it, right? So I think at the end of the day, man, the coaches have to come up with the best game plan. Yeah, the players got to go out there and execute, but I do feel strongly knowing that we've got our guys back healthy. It seems everybody I've talked to, even, the folks in the building, I mean, they're confident in this matchup. They're confident in their players. I think they feel strongly about if they execute that they have a good chance at winning this football game. So I think that's just really what it boils down to. I mean, this is the playoffs, right? I mean, Ryan Grubb, I'll say this. There's been a couple times, where play calling, yes, we've scratched our heads. I know everybody's had that thought, and it's easy for us. I get that. But to be fair, when it comes down to it and you need a play, he can draw some stuff up. So just do that on a consistent basis, right? I mean, think about all these now, like we need it type plays, and he draws something up. Let's see that. Now is the time, right? Is win or go home, and you're playing one of the best teams. Well, technically the best team. So hopefully we can see that type of play call in this game, because I do think, like Matt was saying, with the implementation of the sugar huddle stuff, that was new, right? I just got to be honest. Sometimes coaches got to get out of their own way. I think they can be a little stubborn when they try to stick to their system and what they want to do. I think we kind of hit a point where, hey, this team doesn't run the ball great. We've got to do some other things differently. We're sputtering a little bit. And I think we finally saw some of that stubbornness dissolve a little bit against Oklahoma. Hopefully that continues into this game, and they lean into really what they do best or what is working, and not what they think they have to do because it's the system, because that's a recipe to have, even further issues.
And I saw that offense against South Carolina, right? And that was, they were behind. They sputtered for 2.5, 3 quarters. I was at the game on the sidelines, and all of a sudden they got behind, and Ryan Grubb, it's like a light switch came on, and there was urgency. There was urgency in this play calling, and he really just kept South Carolina's defense. They didn't have a clue what they were doing. That's what I'm talking about when I say the number 2 pencil. They got to have urgency, man, and they can't wait till they get behind 17-0 or fourth quarter and there's 5 minutes and they got to score 10 points. I think you go into this game with that type of urgency from kick. That, hey, nobody's expecting them but Alabama fans to win this game. I mean, I just looked at the little thing. It's like 80% that I'm like, it's hard to wrap your mind, bro. Wait a minute, Indiana football's 80% chance to beat Alabama. This is the standard, right? It's Nick Saban, man. It's like, this is Alabama. We're talking about Alabama getting beat by Indiana? Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, Jesus is coming back soon. Talk more about Alabama, pertaining to football. What's going on? So, listen, brother, I'm just going to tell you, if I'm a player in that locker room, I'm taking this personally. And they need to take this game personally, right? It's like they have really had some times where they didn't look like, I said this on the show, Chris, to tell you, after the Florida State game, I'm like, I need to call every tow truck company in Tuscaloosa and nearby and go over to that parking lot and the Ferraris and the S550s.
I don't know about a Ferrari, but it's for
whatever's in that parking lot, I want to, get the best hookers in town. I'm talking about the tow truck, and pull them out of there and take them back to the car lot. So we don't want that attitude. We want the attitude where it used to be, brother, I ain't got no money in my pocket. I don't know how I'm going to buy my girl some pizza and pay for this movie ticket. So, I got to go out there and bust up some heads, bro. I got to go take somebody's head off. I got to go out there and play like there's no tomorrow. And if Alabama can get back to that attitude, right? Because here's what's happening. In the back of Indiana's mind, they're scared. They didn't want to see that. They didn't want to see that script A, because it's still Alabama. It still means something, right? So if they go out there and start fast with that urgency and knocking folk out, you know what they're going to do? They're going to cower down. Maybe I don't care what our record says. This is Alabama, and so they won't play the way they should play. But if they go out there and have some early success, just like anytime you play a team that's less than you are, if you let them hang around, their confidence go through the roof. This is the same thing with Indiana. I promise you, Alabama got to go out there with urgency and play the game the way they know how to play. They got talent, they got speed, they got size, they got strength, they got all of that. But if you don't go out there and play like that, it doesn't mean a hill of beans.
Man, you're preaching.
Wow. Floss, you're shaking your head a lot. Looks like you want to testify.
Hey, man, listen, hey, My hands are up, man. You know, hey, throw some holy water on me. You know, listen. But he right, man. If we come out and play Bama football, I don't think nobody can beat us. I really don't. I feel like Georgia is one of the top teams. I feel like Georgia is that team. I feel like Georgia is the number one team. We beat them in Athens. If we come out like that team that we had, I don't think nobody in the playoffs can give us any problems other than Georgia. We just got to come out and have some urgency, man. We got to come out like some dogs. We got to come out ready to eat. Like we got to. Their confidence is up here. The Indiana confidence is up here. We need to shrink their confidence back down and let them know that you got to come through us in order to be what you want to be. Just imagine how many times Bama has been number one and we got beat and how that felt. Now it's our time to do that to somebody else. So we just need to come out, have that urgency, and just be the dogs that we are. I mean, just go get it, man. Go get it. It's right there in front of you. Go get it. Just go get it.
Man, that's how you close a segment. Real quick, before we move on, I want to give a shout out to one of our big sponsors, Smith Infinity of Huntsville. Those guys will have you taken care of. Look, they're not about making a sale. They're not about getting a commission. What they are about is taking care of people that they treat like family. So go visit them today. Smith Infinity of Tuscaloosa. If you need to find out more about them, we have their contact information on the scrolling ticker just below. So feel free to check them out. Tell them the Bama Standard sent you. All right, so let's go to the breakout players, guys. Last week, it was Lotzier Brooks. Hey, we've been waiting all season long for him to finally emerge and be that guy. Well, he did it. He was one of the big catalysts to that win. Can he replicate that performance? Do we get an encore? Or do we need some other folks to show up and show out? Hey, did we mention that LT Overton is back? That can make a big difference in the grand scheme of things. Panel, talk to me. We'll start out with Matt, and we'll go to Christian, and then Floss, and over to Pastor. Tell me about the breakout players for this game. And for you, Matt, I'm going to give you a part B. Does Alabama need Ryan Williams to be Hollywood to win this game?
Yes, we need Hollywood to be Hollywood, and that's who I'm picking to be my breakout player. You know, we got the pastor on here, so I'm coming out with faith. You know, I'm going to have faith. I got faith in Ryan Williams that he going to ball out versus Indiana. And I think if he shows out, if he makes just catches, if he just makes catches, I don't care about all the, the yak afterwards, but once he starts making catches, that opens up so much to our offense. Bernard, Horton, Lottie Brooks, they really going to be keying on Lottie, but I'm going to have faith in Ryan Williams. And my secondary guy, I think with the addition of LT Overton, James Smith, I think he's one of the best defensive linemen as far as just physicality, speed, quickness. He can do it all, but if he puts it all together versus this game, I like to see him ball out. So Ryan Williams, I got faith in you, brother. I got faith in you. Come through for the time.
Faith like a child, brother. I hear you. We lost Christian. We're going to work on getting him back in the room. But Floss, that gives you the opportunity to talk. If you would, brother, tell us who are the breakout players. Who does Alabama need to show up?
Hey, I'm gonna agree with him. I think Ryan Williams, this is his game. Like he said, he don't need one of those, where he's shaking and baking. One of the timely catches. The timely catches. If he make the timely catches, the difficult catches, the ones that he's been missing, I think that right there will open the doors to a lot, because now you got the key on Lott, you got the key on Ryan, you got the key on Zay, you got the key on John, and then you got to think about Quavers as well. And then as far as the defense, I'm gonna say Bray. Even though he's been, a breakout player, but I think this is his game where we gonna need him even more. I would say Sab as well. He's been kind of quiet, but he's still been doing his thing as well. But Bray is one of those cats where you like, he gonna make a play. He gonna do something. I don't know if it's a fumble or interception. Normally it's a fumble, but I'm gonna say Bray. James Smith, I love James Smith. I'm glad you brought him up. James Smith is a dog. I love him. He remind me of Quentin Williams a little bit. But if he figure it out, I think he just got to be consistent, basically.
Awesome. All right, Christian, we get to hear from you now. Last game, it was Zier. Of course, he's probably going to command a lot of attention now after what he did to Oklahoma. So we need someone else possibly to step up, or it may not even matter. On the defensive side of the ball, that was Xavier Brown, but he's been doing this all season long. But to you, who are the players who need to break out for Alabama in this game?
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I got disconnected, man. I think some Indiana fans hacked my network or something. Man. My computer's
There's a lot of that
out
going
of
around.
nowhere. Yeah,
Hey, it's on me the companies too, man. I've been seeing all that talk.
Might be it, man. I don't know. My PC just reset, but yeah, I'll say this, man. It's tough to say because when I look at, I'll start defense because I'm a defensive guy. I feel like we've had a number of guys playing some really good football recently. So I mean, it's really hard to pick. I mean, Xavier Brown, we know how special he's been in these critical moments. Like Floss mentioned, Bray Hubbard, he's always got a knack for the football. He's always, coming up with either a forced fumble or an interception, especially at the right time. But I look at the linebacker unit, and a unit that, to me, I thought, underperformed, the first couple games maybe. But as the season progressed, man, these guys have been playing much better football. I mean, look at Deontay Lawson. I feel like he looks way healthier now. To me, he's playing sideline to sideline, looks a lot more physical. He's moving around so much better, and he's been playing some really good ball. Justin Jefferson, and then even my guy Nikhai Hill-Green, he came on my show a couple weeks ago. To me, I think he's probably the underrated guy out of the group. He's that third backer in here, and yeah, we run a lot of nickel, so he's rotated in a lot with the other two guys. But that means you're talking about a guy, he's not the fastest guy, but he has really good game speed. And the way he tracks stuff down, and he's physical most importantly. I mean, he might not get credit for some of this stuff, but the way he attacks blocks, I mean, he's one of the unsung heroes. So I just wanted to show him some love, man, because I like him a lot. He's a really good player, really, really nice dude, man. He hopped on the show not long ago. But I think those guys have been playing well. And even the defensive line, they've stepped up tremendously as well. Just Tim Keenan being a force in the middle, commanding a number of blocks. Yonze Pierre coming along with his pass rush. So if I had to pick some breakout guys, man, it is really tough. Hopefully one of those guys up front is a breakout guy because we talked about the theme being getting pressure on the quarterback. I would love to see one of those guys have a day, whether it's Yonze, Rusaw, maybe even LT coming back. One or all of those guys need to have a productive day for sure. Linebacker play is going to be important, knowing how much they run the football. Those guys are going to have to be playing sideline to sideline and also being able to manage the RPO game. And then hopefully the guys in the back end, they can play solid coverage and maybe come up with the interception or so. I think it's like tossing up, I don't know, just throwing a name out there at this point. Give me, I don't even know, bro. Just give me Yonze Pierre, man. Give me Yonze Pierre. I'll go with my pass rush guys up front. Give me Yonze having a big game. He had one against Tennessee. One of those games could be huge, providing some pressure. I'll take him on defense. And then on offense, I feel like Jeremy Bernard is due for some production. I feel like he slowed down a little bit on the second half of the season. I would love to see Ryan have a breakout game and come back to life and quiet a lot of these doubters. But to me, Jeremy Bernard, he's a very reliable option. I feel like he's been banged up a little bit on the last half of the season. And I feel like having him healthier, he could be a big piece in this offensive game plan. And then I guess my honorary mention would be Cuevas. I know he's a lot healthier now too, and we know how important he is to this offense and what they like to do. So those will be my guys to watch out for in this matchup.
A great call. Great call on Nikhai Hill-Green. You are absolutely right. He is one of the underrated heroes. And when you're scrambling to find a defensive guy to pick, I was going to throw London Simmons your way. Man, what a tremendous outing by the freshman.
He's a dog.
Entire season. Absolutely.
Yep. Dog.
Like him.
Yep.
I like him. Well, as I sit here in my El Casa, with this nice cigar. And this cigar that I am smoking is called La Aroma de Cuba. La Aroma de Cuba. And that name translated boss. The reason why I smoke this because I like to call myself the boss. But,
yes, sir.
But On the offensive side, there needs to be a boss. And it's easy for me to pick Ryan Williams, right? It's easy for me to say, a bacalao, maybe some fingernail polish and paint these things some crimson and white. You know what I mean? There's some crimson, some white fingernail polish. That's real easy. But what I'm going to go with, I had a song as y'all were talking, and they used to say something like, jam, oh, jam.
Oh, jam.
Jam, play that jam for me. And that jam is Jam Miller, and he shall be the boss in this ball game. We talked about the lack thereof running game. Well, this week will be a surprise for the world. They will find themselves running the football against this Indiana defense, and Jam, oh, Jam, will go over 100 yards, and he will break out and in a phenomenal football game where people now will have to pay attention to the running game of Alabama. And on the defensive side, listen, there's this guy, Chris, you threw out a lot of names. You know all these players. I'm so impressed, man, that you're good at what you do. But one name you left out. And I was in Pennsylvania playing golf with my friend Keith Byers. I don't know if you remember Keith Byers. He's a big old running back for the Eagles and the Dolphins, good friend of mine. Well, he asked me a question. Man, one of my great friend's nephew plays at Alabama. His name is Keon Keeley.
Ooh.
How is he doing? And at the time, I couldn't give him no good answer. I mean, he ain't really done anything. But this week, we're going to give him a different answer because Keon Keeley is going to have a breakout game for this defense. You talked about Pierre, and they're paying attention to him. They're looking at LT Overton, all these guys, but they're going to forget about poor 31, who's going to be in that rotation. Now, here's the thing. Keon don't know what he's doing half the time. And sometimes he get a sack just by mistake. But this week, he's going to show up because he is explosive. He's 275 pounds and he's strong. And I think he's going to be able to take advantage of the offensive line of Indiana because I think he's had some good experience here as of late. And I think he's going to be the key. As we saw him last week, maybe this is the type of game he can make it rain. You know what I'm saying? Because you playing these types of games on the big stage, you got a chance to make it rain. That means getting in somebody's bag. So Keon Keeley on defense and Jam Miller on offense will be two guys that nobody's really going to talk about much, but they will have breakout games on this Thursday.
Ooh, I told you I was going to be good. Man, he brought it.
high risk, high reward on that one. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I wouldn't pick Keon. That's an interesting one, but you're right. He's been showing up. He's been showing up. Yeah,
I feel like a lot of them gonna step up, man. I really do. It's gonna be some names that we haven't really paid attention to that's gonna step up. But that Jam,
in these types of games, you have one guy, you have a couple guys that nobody's talking about, and they show up, right? It's just I see that happening with this game with Alabama. I do. And Ken Keeley is the guy that can play. He just sometimes don't know what he's doing, but he can play. He's gotten pressure. He's knocked balls down. He's been around in that backfield, and I think in that rotation, he'll have a chance to make some plays.
Wow. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Before we go to the audience question and answer segment, I'll remind everyone of our other sponsor. If you're headed out to the Rose Bowl, what you need to have in your hand is your very own title towel. Go to www.whitwillsports.com today. Enter the promo code STANDARD. Get you a nice discount courtesy of your favorite network, the Bama Standard Network. That's right, whitwillsports.com today. Get your title towel. All right, now let's put the show in the hands of the audience. I'll start a few questions. If you have any while we're doing this, I'll make sure to add them. We're going to start things out with Mimi6798. Hey, y'all, what is the key to Alabama starting fast? Christian, you want to take that?
Yeah, Mimi, I think it goes back to, kind of we hit on a little bit earlier, man, just having that game plan coming into it, ready for that first series and having those guys go out there and execute and setting the tone. Just like Matt and my dad talked about. I mean, the mindset is everything. You got to go out there and impose your will. That's how you start off fast. I mean, you have that momentum coming in, out from the kick, right? Whether it's on special teams, somebody getting a hit, you got to play with energy. And why wouldn't you, man? I mean, you're literally playing in the Rose Bowl, right? I mean, it's one of the best bowls that you can ask for, we're all, I mean, well, at least us. I mean, now there's a lot of California guys, but Southern people, I mean, we don't get a chance to go do that very often. I mean, go take advantage of the opportunity, man. I mean, these are moments that you pray for and you work for. And I always tell people, you know, football is one of these sports you work year round and you get maybe 15 opportunities to actually go play it. Basketball, you play a whole hell of a lot of games. Baseball, you play a whole hell of a lot of games. Football, you get 15 opportunities. This could potentially be your last one. But if it is, this is the last time you'll play with this group of guys, right? Whoever loses, that's the last time that team will ever play together. If you have extra eligibility, you'll come back. But it's a new group, especially with transfer portal. So go make the most of it, man. What do you have to lose, right? Like you got to have that mentality. And I think this Alabama team, one thing that I've noticed about them, they have a good culture. They're very close knit, which is a little bit hard to find in today's society. But before I go down a whole nother topic, yeah, I mean, I think, you know, having a good game plan, right? Coming out with good energy, right? Just flying around, imposing your will, being physical, executing, right? Knowing and understanding and doing your job, right? Sometimes with guys, especially the people that haven't been in these moments, they get out there, they try to do too much. No. Nothing changes. It's just yet another football game. Yes, the stakes are higher. Yes, it's set up on a bigger stage. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what you do between those white lines. It's about blocking and it's about tackling, and whoever scores the most points. Don't overcomplicate it. Go out there and go play to your standard. And I think if you do that, man, you start fast, you get out on the right foot, you play for 60 minutes, man, Alabama has a damn good chance to win this football game.
Man, Christian, you sound like you're ready to strap it up for another 60 minutes.
I got my helmets right there, man. I can go crack that jersey out that glass.
Absolutely, that's right.
Hey, I can't wear my jersey anymore. Too little.
Mine might be too big. I've lost a little bit of weight.
Hey, and according to the Pavia rule, you can come back and play one more year.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, I had some injuries. Maybe I can go blame it on that. Maybe I can get a medical red shirt. Who knows?
Phillip Rivers came back. Might give me some new knees and to get some new insurance, man. They don't pay me, just give me some insurance.
Sure.
All right. Thank you so much, Mimi. T-Town Media, the capability is there to beat Indiana, but can we come together in this particular game is the question. Limit mistakes and just let Ty get into that rhythm. Pastor Payne, Corey, can you address this? Can Alabama come together in this game?
Yeah, I like this team a lot. And, you know, listen, I met Kalen DeBoer a couple of times. I was down in Tuscaloosa, and Christian took me over, and we had great conversation. I think he's a heck of a man. You know, listen, I mean, we talk about coaches and X and O's. We've been talking about that for the last hour. But it's something when you can say that coach is a great man. And he is. Kalen DeBoer is that. I think he has the ability to rally these guys and get their focus back to where it needs to be. I think they have fun. I think they understand how to play hard, and I think they take it very serious. You know, so I say yes, they have a chance to come together and understand this. People don't respect you like they used to. You are a different Alabama, right? And so they gotta gain that. They gotta go out there and take that from people. But you do that by playing football. You do it by playing together, as Christian talked about, unity, one love, one heartbeat. And you go out there, man, you play as a family, as a team. And I listen to Jeremy Bernard, and I've listened to Ty Simpson, and these sound like great men of faith. And I believe they are great leaders. And signs of great leaders are leaders that are humble, like Jesus, right? He made himself low. He made himself to wash nasty, stinky disciples' feet. That's great leadership. That means I'll lay down whatever for the sake of my football team. And I think they got a lot of guys like that on this roster. And because of that, I say yes, they'll do what it needs to be done and go out there and play 60 minutes or however long it takes to win this football game. So I say yes, they will do the right things. They've been out the West Coast, some of these guys, I guess a couple of years ago, and they played out there in Michigan and lost. And I think that's a reminder. They don't like that feeling, and they're going to get that winning feeling back again. So I say yes, things will be different this time. Excuse me.
Ooh, I feel like we need to hear from Floss on that and Matt. Hey, Floss, add your twist to it, and let's hear from Matt too. Can this team come together?
Man, honestly, I don't think there's no other way that we can win this game other than if we come together. We've been doubted all year, man. Really, honestly, we're not the same team without Nick Saban. Nick Saban ain't here no more. The Nick Saban era, it's all about Nick Saban. Well, Nick Saban ain't here no more. Nick Saban can't save us. You know, I love Coach DeBoer. I think Coach DeBoer was the best fit for this job. I don't think nobody else could have done the job that he has done thus far. And like Pastor said, you got Jeremy, you got Ty. Those are the leaders. So we need to rally around those guys and go out here, put your best foot forward. Like Christian said, we got to play physical. From the first kickoff, we need to punch somebody in their mouth. Somebody got to get hit. Somebody. We got to make them feel it early. We can't wait till the second half. This ain't Oklahoma. We can't wait till the second half. We got to get it done early. We got to get them up out. We got to crush them early. We got to take their wheel early. We can't let them sit around and think that this is going to be a back and forth game. We can't let them feel that way. Even if it is, we got to let them know about it. By the fourth quarter, we're going to be out of here. You might well go and fire the buses up. We finna get y'all up out of here real quick. Take that number one off y'all rank and let give me. At this point, we got to come together. We're able to do. I feel like we can do, and I feel like we will do. And if anybody got an issue with that, tell them come see me.
Ooh, Matt, now your turn.
Listen,
I like that.
It's hard to come behind these legends, preaching the gospel up here. But I'm gonna take what Christian said and the Pastor Payne said. If they need to take it personally, and if they take it personally and say we're being disrespected, Coach, you were talking about how Jesus was humble and lowly and all that. That's good, but I need them to have the Jesus that went into the temple and flipped over a few tables and started feeding some folks up. If they have taken, because the media, everybody is saying this is not the same Alabama. They take that type of mindset and show it to those guys on the film on Thursday. That's the type of mentality. If they take it personally and show that we won't be disrespected, then that's the type of mentality I think the Alabama can get it in rhythm. And leadership. They went through so much adversity. This team is resilient as I don't know what. I mean, to do what they have done and bounce back, to be in the position, they just need to take it to the next level. Take it personally, especially versus Indiana.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's so good, bro. You came out, bro. That is so good right there. You don't even. I wanted to start shouting up in here, bro. Like, that's good. Turn the tables over. My God.
T-Town Media again. Christian, from what you've seen on film, Indiana plays a lot of cover 2 on the back end to prevent those explosive plays down. Do we try to establish that run game to bring those dudes in the box?
Yeah, interesting question. I'll say this. They play a number of different coverages on the back end. You see some cover 2. I've seen cover 3. They play man coverage. They mix it up, and they do a hell of a job disguising it, right? I mean, they'll show, split safety coverage. They get a single high, vice versa. They do a lot of different things. I think that's what helps make their defense really solid. But in terms of trying to, run the football to get them down in the box, I definitely think, like I said earlier, you definitely want to commit to it because you don't want to be one-dimensional. But I don't think you need to overdo it to the point. Like, for example, we started the SEC championship game off. I think we ran like 3 times in a row. Don't try to just overdo something just to do it, right? Have some flow with it and try to find a way to have balance and establish it that way. But to me, I think it boils down to really, listen, at the end of the day, lean into what you do best. I don't think it's necessarily about trying to get them down a certain way. I mean, you can, but I just don't think if you're not running the ball great, yes, I mean they're going to be able to sit back, kind of like what Georgia did. We've even seen them have some 3 high safety looks, kind of sit back, play deep to short. You don't want that. So from that aspect, yes, you probably do want to have, at least some type of commitment to the running game or some type of, whether it's screen game, something to make the defense honest. Yeah, I do agree. But I think it just boils down to really what you can do. I just don't think you want to get into territory where you're doing things unorthodox that you just don't do well, simply just trying to, get them to come down, because things will open themselves up. And we've seen that even without necessarily running the ball great. So that might be extensions of the running game. If that's what it takes, yes. So I do agree you do need to find ways to not let them sit back on you, but I don't think it should come at the expense of, hey, we're just going to keep trying to hammer this football and it's not working great for us, if that makes sense. That's kind of the way I view it. And plus, there's other things you can do to try to get some advantages. Like Matt brought up the sugar huddle. I thought that had a lot of success as well. And then even just some of the things we do formation-wise, putting Jeremy Bernard in the backfield, right? Getting some mismatches. Those little details cause a lot of wrinkles for defenses. And I think if you continue to lean into that, they'll open up some opportunities, because we have the playmakers. We got a quarterback that's very capable. You just got to find ways to get them the football. Be creative. That's why I keep bringing up rub routes, little things like get your playmakers the ball. Go back and watch SEC championship game. Does Ryan Williams have a drop problem this season? Yeah, but he doesn't have a problem making plays after the ball's in his hands. So, I mean, get him the football. Get it to him quick. Go look what he did to those Georgia defenders. He makes them look silly.
Indiana fans.
He's one of the few guys in the country that has that voice stick ability. Yeah, get him the football. But just like the running game, you don't have to overdo it where you're forcing it, but keep trying. I was talking to somebody, I made a great point. When you look at these guys in the NFL, how many times have you seen CeeDee Lamb or Jamar Chase have games where Matt can speak to this, he's a receiver, have a game where they have 3 or 4 drops? They don't just stop throwing those guys the ball. Shit, they throw it to them more sometimes. Right, you got to find ways to feed your playmakers, and I think that's what you want to aim to do, because that will ultimately they'll make this defense honest. And I think you just got to lean into that. And I'm confident that this staff, having 12 days or whatever it is, they should have a good game plan for this matchup. And like my dad mentioned, whether it's adjustments or whatever the case may be, they just got to lean into it and go all the way out. And I think if they do that, they can put these guys in position. But the next part is just getting our guys to execute, which I believe our guys will be ready to do. So they're healthier than ever. They seem to be confident, right? Seeing, the energy at practice and whatnot. They just got to go out there and put it all together.
Well said. And by the way, Matt didn't drop passes, so he didn't know.
From a receiver. Hey, he played the position. He knows.
I dropped a few.
Hey, one of those was not a drop. That game against LSU, you caught that pass.
The referee screwed us that game.
Yeah, blame the refs on that.
That's a fine. Sure. Be careful, man. They might find the show, man. You can't talk about refs. Y'all might get a check in the mail.
One thing you make Ryan Williams. You keep talking about him, and one of the things when you stop throwing him the ball or take him out of the game plan, it ruins his confidence. And I think and you can sometimes see his eyes. I think he lacks some confidence right now. And they gotta get his confidence back. So what do? You go out there and call plays to get him the football with some safe throws, right? Run some hitches, run some pop passes, let him do his thing, get him out in space where he can, he make people miss. He's got great footwork. He's great run after the catch. So you got to find ways to get a dude like that the ball, because the more he has touches, it seems like the better he gets, the more confident he gets. And Ryan Grubb has to find a way to get him the ball, because he is the most dynamic player that they have with the football in hand. And so, to me, I'm going to use my best talent, my best players, and don't hold anything back this game. You got to win this game in order to get to the next. I'm looking at them going, man, they get this one, they're back in Atlanta. That's like a home game for them, right? So but you got to win this game first. So do whatever you have to do just to win this particular game. And if they can do that, man, I'm telling you, they got a chance. I mean, they have a chance. They're 3 games away from what would he, number 19, if they can get another natty. Is that 19 for them? I mean,
19.
12 quarters, guys. 12 quarters away. So, man, do what you got to do.
Well said. Tough as nails. Question for Christian. What player does Jonze Pierre remind you of? I'm willing to throw Anthony Jennings in there, your former teammate, but I'll let you answer it.
I could, maybe the way they rush a little bit. Jonze is definitely a power guy. It's interesting though, because I remember watching Jonze at camp here, because I work some of these football camps with the football team. And he's a quick twitch guy, or at least out of high school. I mean, he had a lot of juice. He's kind of converted into more of a speed to power guy, but he's got a little more length than Anthony. But I the way they rush, I could say that he's kind of a combination. I feel like the way he rushes, it could be more of like the Anthony Ryan Anderson type deal, but he's built more like me with a few extra pounds, or Tim Williams. He's got length to him. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard. I mean, Will Anderson was kind of like that. They've got similar builds, and Will is a straight speed to power guy. Will, he's now finally starting to work the edge how he probably should, but he's also playing in a much better system. We had him playing in a 4-eye type 5 technique. Definitely was not his thing. He's now with DeMeco Ryans in Houston, and they're letting him play in that wide 9. And boy, he's a tear off the edge. I'm pretty sure he just set a record for the most pressures in a season or something. Me and my dad called it. We said, put that dude in the system that he's supposed to be playing in and watch him work. Unfortunately, we needed him in that role here. That's why he's playing the 4-eye. We didn't have the guys up front, and he was the best guy to do it. But long story short, I think Yanze is kind of similar. He's a speed to power guy with some good length. And I think, to me personally, I think he just looks so much more comfortable and confident with his game plan when he rushes. Before, it kind of looked like, hey, we're just trying to push the pocket. Now, like even the sack he had against Oklahoma, he went speed to power, got stalemated a little bit, and he immediately went to a quick swim. He just kept rushing. The rush continued. That shows growth and development with his rushing ability, and I think he's coming along, and I think he's just going to get better and better. I mean, next year I think he could have a really big year coming off the edge. I like Yanze Pierre a lot, and he's got it in his blood, right? He's Upshaw's cousin. I don't know if a lot of people really knew that. They don't really talk about it, but he's kin to Upshaw, so I mean, it definitely runs in the family. But he's definitely come along, and he's been a great player for us this year.
Absolutely. Question from USC Marine. Has Bama found their identity late in this season? Thanks, RTR Floss. Has Bama found their identity?
I think so. Because I feel like, they know we're more pass heavy than, run. So I feel like we kind of got something. It's just the fact of putting it together right, if that makes sense. If we put it together right, like they did in the second half of the Oklahoma game, I think we'll be fine. Like Pastor said, we might have 100 yards. I don't know. If Jam 100% healthy, we still got Daniel Hill, and we got the freshman Kevin Riley. We might get 100 yards. So, but like I said, I think we do have an identity. We're a pass heavy team. We got the wide outs. If the running backs do their thing, then okay, we get 60 yards. We still got the outside. I think so. I really do. I guess. I mean, we're gonna pray about it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. You're not selling me on that one, right? I think
I was trying.
You were trying.
He's trying.
The Bible says, speak those things as be not, as though they are a word. Amen. So what we're doing, what we call prophesying, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully not prophesying. We got to speak those things into existence.
No, but to be fair, he said in the sense of their understanding, hey, we're not going to be a team that rushes for 120, 130. So I do agree to an extent. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think we're starting to settle down with this is who we are. But we still need to commit to the running game. Just not like the question I had earlier, just so you're not one-dimensional. But yeah, no, I think we're understanding. Yeah, and we're understanding, like, this is who we are. This is how we have success, making those plays down the field through the air. You just got to lean into what you do best.
Got a super chat here from Don Parker. Which Bama team will show up against Indiana? They can't have the C-F performance in this game and be successful. They must play as a team with a mean streak. I expect nothing less. And we expect nothing less from Don Parker than to come with it. And then he comes at us again. Don Parker, thank you so much, brother, by the way. They need to let Keeley headhunt. Let him cook. And one last
$2, but that worth only $2. He went from 10 to 2. Come on, bro. That should be nice.
Christmas got him, Pastor.
We got to go 10 to 20. They can't go back.
We're praying for increase.
Come on, man. Wow.
And Lisa Fitz, can Pastor change the weather, or will the rain somehow favor Alabama?
Change the weather.
Mm.
But what I can do, Miss Lisa, is I can pray. If you remember the story with Elijah, he kept telling his servant to go look. So what we're going to say, go look.
Hold on,
Keep
pal. I
praying,
got some
stand
for you.
on our knees in the name of Jesus. God, I speak sunshine. I speak 80 degrees. I speak low wind in the mighty name of Jesus. I speak to the rainfall. I speak to the droplets of
Yes.
rain and say, be
Yes.
thou removed
Roll
in the
Tide,
mighty name of Jesus. On the
Roll
day of
Tide,
this
pal.
Rose Bowl, when you talk about roses, you talk about sunshine. So in the mighty name of Jesus, come forth sunshine, and sunshine it shall be.
Amen. Roll Tide, pal.
Y'all didn't know we were bringing the word today, did y'all?
Yeah.
Y'all didn't know. This is the best
I'm
preview show
tired
we've
now,
ever
pal.
had. He got a spirit of high blood pressure.
Yeah.
All right, guys, this is the most important part. This is what everybody waited on. Predictions for the game. Let's throw out X's and O's. What does Alabama need to do to win this game? Hey, give me your prediction. Start us off, Matt, then Floss, Christian, and then Pastor. Let me hear it.
Listen, I like Alabama. I'm going to roll with the Tide. I don't have no score prediction, but I like Alabama with the win. Like I said, they take it personally. They've been disrespected. Nobody's looking at them. Everybody's saying they're going to be blown out. They shouldn't even get off on the plane. They shouldn't even get on the field and step foot with the number one team, Heisman Trophy with them. But I like Alabama. A person I think that really needs to ball out. I think that Keon Sabb has a really good game because I feel like you look at Cignetti with those receivers, I think they're going to try to attack maybe him, especially if they get in the red zone. If Sabb can really ball out, maybe get an interception, I think that could be huge for us. But I like Alabama to get a big W in Pasadena.
And then come on to Atlanta. All right, Floss, you're up.
You already know who I'm taking. Come on now. Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide. Hey, look, I'm going 34-17. That's what I'm going. I'm going 34-17.
Wow. Man.
Hey, look,
Wow.
I'm trying. I want to stick their foot in their mouth. I don't want to say nothing because I just screenshotted every negative post. I just screenshotted David Pollock. I just screenshotted what's his name? The dude that's on 3. I screenshotted somebody that said something earlier was saying that we're gonna get blew out. I just screenshotted everybody. So if y'all see a whole bunch of screenshots from me, guess what? It's me. All right. So just beware. 31-17, Bama Roll Tide, baby.
Ooh, do you have no storage to get all those screenshots on that phone?
Man, listen, I got.
You buy some extra.
What, man?
Data.
That Christian.
Oh, I got a whole bunch of it. I bought it. I got to. I be doing too many skits, so I got to pay for that stuff.
Yeah.
I need all.
Oh man, he went 34-17. Man, I don't know if I can give you guys that much confidence going into this one, but I will say this. I'm listen. I think if Alabama goes out there and they continue, I've said this a number of times. It's like a broken record, but it's true. If I truly believe. Because I look at this Indiana football team. They're a great football team. They execute well coached. We know all these things. Statistically, they're at the top of almost every category. However, I just feel like this Alabama football team, when we're firing on all cylinders, man, I think we're going to be too much for them to handle. I personally do. I don't see it getting out of reach like that. I still think it's a really close game. But personally, I just feel like with our ability – when we can make plays down the field, when Ty is able to connect with his guys, attacking the deep part of the field, Latsier, Brooks, and company making these big plays, defense, forcing turnovers, finding a way to get after the quarterback. If we play like that, I think we win this game somewhat around 24-20. I think it is a battle because you've got two really good football teams. However, if Alabama reverts back to some of the mistakes, some of the costly issues that we've seen in the second half of the year, I'm going to be completely honest with you. You don't have that margin of error in this game with Indiana, and I wouldn't be shocked if Indiana ultimately wins the game if we revert to some of those old habits. But I'm going to lean into the positivity that we saw from the Oklahoma game. Sure. I'm going to have faith that, hey, they put it together for 3 quarters against Oklahoma. They've had 12 days since then. they've gotten healthier. They've had time to game plan. They seem like their heads on straight. Personally, I'm going to lean into that piece of it. I think Alabama is going to show up to play, and I think they win 24-20. But it's going to be a dogfight. I mean, this Indiana team is really good. The quarterback's really good. He doesn't really make too many mistakes. But I think it's going to be on our guys to find a way to force some of those, capitalize on some turnovers and some mistakes, and find a way to head back home and find themselves in Atlanta.
Man, I love it. I love it. You get the last word, Pastor.
That's real good, little C. That's real good, little C. But now it's time for the big C.
Woo.
You know, I was listening, you kept throwing it, but if we do this, then, it's kind of like a little negative, then a positive. I believe in positive.
Objectivity, man.
Yeah, my dad always taught me to look into the hills which cometh your help, because all your help comes from the Lord. I preached a mini series here over Christmas about 3 gifts. And one of the gifts that I talked about was the gift of peace. Peace, peace, shalom. You hear Jewish people, they say that you're shalom, right? And that led me to this verse in Philippians 4:6-7 that says, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, prayer and petition with thanksgiving, presenting your requests to God. And then here we go, the shalom, the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your mind in Christ Jesus. So right now, I am in shalom state. I have a peace about this game. So I'm telling every Bama fan out there, all these little screenshots that you just took and all these things that these people saying and the Danny Caddell and all of these propheliers out there, listen, shalom. Have peace. All they are just Goliaths. You know what happened to Goliath, the 7'7" Philistine? Little David, little ruddy, red-headed David, took off. He said, I don't even need your armor. Just give me a slingshot and a few small, them little stones, and I'm going to have his head. So what's going to happen on Thursday, Indiana? You better go back to the basketball arena where you're comfortable. Go back to your Bobby Knight days, because this right here is called grown man football. This right here is called the SEC, where it just means more. And this game will mean more for those folks that's wearing crimson and white. It's the Alabama Crimson Tide. It is the Bama Standard. It is discipline. It has knocked you over the head. It has make you quit in the 4th quarter. And that's what's going to work here. And here's what I'm going to say. Bama by 1. You know why 1? Because it don't matter. Long as you win by 1. 1, 17, 20, 60, it all equals a W. And because of that right there, the peace of God that transcends all of understanding is God in my heart and my mind. And I say to all of you, Bama Nation, shalom. Peace be with you. Roll Tide.
Roll. Man. Woo.
Hallelujah.
Yes, sir. You can't ask for better than that. Y'all didn't know we was going to take you to church and a revival today.
What we do,
This is how we preview a game.
Oh, just
right.
wait. Now he's about to pass around.
They clapping for him in the cigar shop here, y'all.
He's waiting on his ties now. He's going to give you a link.
Yeah.
It's a setup. Don't go.
Drop your collection up over here.
There you go. There goes the collection.
My cash app is hookabrotherup.com.
I knew it was coming.
All those super chats, come on.
Yeah, we don't want $2. We want 20.
We're gonna ask for 50.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
10%, guys. Remember.
Yeah. That means a 10th. Tithing means a 10th.
True.
We need some more data. We need some more data. We might go 2 hours next week.
Oh man, great stuff.
Oh my Lord.
It's
been a pleasure, guys.
Yes. But tell the
Happy
folks
New
now.
Year to all of you.
Happy New Year to you.
Nice to meet you too.
Let's go around the room. Tell folks how they can find you on social media. Matt, start us out. We'll go over to Floss. And Floss, let them know of any upcoming dates you have for your comedy tour. Then we'll go to a Christian, and then the pastor paint himself.
Yeah, find me on Twitter, Matt Caddell. On Twitter, be hyping up this Bama game versus Indiana, and listen, Roll Tide, Happy New Year, and let's get this W. Let's beat these Hoosiers.
Yes, sir. Floss.
Y'all can find me on Twitter at Floss the Mack, Instagram Floss the Mack, TikTok Entertainer Floss the Mack, Facebook Floss the Mack Comedy. I have 2 shows in Baton Rouge on February 27th and 28th at the Silly Rabbit Comedy Club, and then I'll be in Atlanta on March the 5th at the Atlanta Comedy Theater. And then I'll be traveling to South Carolina and then North Carolina. But yeah, that's about it. Roll Tide, man. Let's get this win.
When you're in South Carolina now, you know we don't have a cussing comedy club down there, so you need some clean jokes.
I got you. I got you.
I'm just kidding.
It's gonna be clean. I got you.
Wow.
Christian, pop your show, bro.
Just bring me a cigar, Pastor. We good. I got.
He's got plenty.
I got you, brother. Whatever you need.
Hell, you can have this one. I don't smoke them. He left this one at my house when he was just here. So you let me know how to find you. I'll send it on your way.
That $25, man. Remember FedEx that to me.
20. Okay. All right. You ain't struggling that bad over there. No, I appreciate you guys having us. It's been fun. And Floss, Matt, really fun meeting you guys and hanging out. But yeah, if you guys want to listen to the show that we do, The Miller's Edge, it's Monday through Friday, 11 to 1 Central Time. Tide 100.9 is the radio station. It's a radio show, but we now live stream the show. So if you guys over here on YouTube want to just watch me do the show, you're more than welcome to at The Miller's Edge on YouTube. Man, we'd be glad to have you guys. If you like breakdowns, authenticity, just transparency, expert analysis of games, we got it for you. And we'll get you guys ready for all these matchups. We talk a little bit about transfer portal, all that good stuff, but it's fun. You guys can call in all that like a typical radio show. Then I also do work with the Crimson Tide Sports Network. I got a post-game show. So if you guys want to hear my breakdown post-game, tune into the Crimson Tide Sports Network, and you can listen to me and Gray Robertson, who's part of the network and SEC Network. We do the show on there. And if anything else comes up, man, just make sure you guys follow us on all of our socials at The Miller's Edge just to stay up to date. And I got personals, but I don't really even post on there. It's like at DC Mill, at Christian Millar, if you guys want to check those out. But definitely check us out on The Miller's Edge, man. We got a lot of big stuff coming up this upcoming year, and we're excited for it.
All right, good
I'm
stuff.
very easy. Pastor Payne 57 on Instagram, at Pastor Payne, also on the X, whatever you call it, Twitter X. But if you check my stuff out, it's going to be more about the gospel I cut up. Yeah, I will smoke a cigar every now and then, but I'm serious when it comes to the Holy Scripture. But if you're looking for some good, true Word of God, to be uplifted, to be encouraged, to be challenged in authenticity and being real, that's who I am. So what you see is what you get, but I'm about the blood of Jesus. And so if you want to check out that, check me out. I'm on there with The Miller's Edge time to time, not so much anymore because I got a high call now with people's souls, so that's what I'm doing most of the time. But I will say this, I speak a blessing over all of you. Pray that the Lord will continue to bless you and cover you and your family going into this next season. And as I'm going to preach tomorrow, is that we're going to drop 2025, like the great philosopher Snoop Dogg said, like it's hot. And we're going to press forward to 2026 for the great things and the many blessings and the great, I'm telling you right now, great things are coming for you. I know preachers talk about it all the time, but when you can walk in Jesus, when you walk with Jesus, there's nothing but great things. Even when it seems bad, it's all good because he turns all things and work them together for good for those that love Jesus and are called according to his purpose. So God bless you. And I pray that you all have a wonderful 2026 season in football and in life.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Man, we greatly appreciate you, Christian. We greatly appreciate you, Corey, Matt, and Floss the Mack. Had a fantastic show. It's probably one of the best of the season. And hopefully we'll be back next week and the week after to preview the game in Atlanta. If not, we'll continue doing what we do best. But that'll do it for all of us here at the Bama Standard. Roll Tide, everyone.
Roll Tide, and God bless everyone.
Yes, sir.